in this romantic situation that I was part of, and with this friendship that I was trying to pursue, rekindle, um, part of the reason why it eluded me for so long and why I couldn't understand why I felt this way towards them, or why I kept feeling their presence in my life, or why I kept feeling them pop up and in certain areas of my life, or at certain times, or why I kept seeing them in dreams, is because I was spiritually slash energetically connected to these people. And so their energy signature left a mark on me that I was now experiencing through the form of dreams. This energetic intimacy, I think, is what people kind of liken to when they speak about soulmates, or feeling like you know someone even if you just met them, that kind of feeling. But I feel like that's probably the reason why that kind of stuff happens or occurs. Having shared your energy with this person, or with these people, or whoever it may be in your own personal life, that have left such a mark and an effect on you, that now you can feel that even if they're not physically present right with you right then. And so when I realized that it was a form of energetic intimacy that I had shared with them, and that's why they'd been coming up in my dreams, and that's why all of these unexplainable kind of things were happening to me, I was then able to realize that that was part of the reason why I felt like I could not be intimate with them. Because somehow, somewhere, at some point in time, I had felt a betrayal in that energy. It wanted to express itself to me. It wanted to make itself known to me. I think I, at some point in my life, learned to kind of put those blinders up, you know what I'm saying? Put on those rose-colored glasses to avoid seeing the red flags. I forget what that term is in psychology. When children who have noticed damaging traits or harmful habits, negative patterns of behavior, that they kind of have to shut it off and stop paying attention to it in order to feel like they can be safe with their caregiver and ensure their own survival. But yeah, at some point in my childhood, I learned to kind of ignore the red flags, because being aware of it wasn't going to help me in any way, shape, or form, and it wasn't going to do anything for me. So I had to just kind of be like, oh, it's fine, everything's fine. Yeah, my parent is emotionally volatile and cannot self-regulate, and is putting all of that burden and responsibility on me, and I have to now navigate their emotions and my own. And then that, led me to kind of rationalizing and doing away with the ways that I was betrayed as a child. That has made its way into the way that I interact with people and how I interact with them in terms of intimacy. But that betrayal was, necessary for me to realize and to confront, really. That is essentially what I was longing for, what I had wanted to experience for a very long time. My want, my desire, my need to experience intimacy with someone. And so while I know I haven't been the perfect person, and I've made a lot of mistakes in life with my friendships, my relationships, specifically with these two individuals who I wanted to have in and a part of my life, I was learning and uncovering all the ways in which I had felt like it was hard for me to be intimate with these people. At the same time, while holding space and not dismissing the fact that there were things about them that were affecting my ability to be intimate, both with myself and with them in our, personal relationship. Now, taking some time and holding some space to acknowledge the fact that it wasn't just me who struggled with intimacy and struggled with making an effort or connecting, but also, being able to hold them accountable for the ways in which they also struggled with their own version of intimacy. And that's not to shame them. That's not to shame anyone, really, who struggles with this problem or who has struggled with these types of problems before. Because part of being intimate with someone else really just requires you to be very intimate with yourself. As the saying goes, people can only meet you as far as they have met themselves. And so intimacy requires you to know and have knowledge of yourself, first and foremost, really. Because engaging with someone else and being intimate with someone else is that much harder if you don't know yourself, or if you are not willing to learn about yourself in the process. which a lot of people aren't, you know? A lot of people are actively running away from themselves because they fear themselves to be the worst person imaginable, and they think that somehow being with other people or submitting to other people or giving to other people will make them a better person and somehow undo or negate whatever it is they think that they are. And so part of these reasons why I was having such a hard time with intimacy myself, or why I had such a hard time with the concept of intimacy when I was much younger, mainly was because I didn't know how to be myself. Youth and adolescence and growing up, part of that is taking the time and being granted the luxury to understand who you are as a person and figure out what it is you like or don't like, and what you want and don't want, and who you really are, to get to cultivate that, to get to grow into that person that you want to be or become. It is part of the expression of life. The joy of the journey is getting to figure it out, getting to know, getting to learn. Even before high school, like, I didn't feel comfortable a lot of the time getting to be myself, you know, whatever that might have meant for me back then, whatever self-concept I had of what it is you could call me or myself or I didn't feel comfortable being that person, that version of me. I felt very uncomfortable, felt like I had to hide myself away because I couldn't be myself with certain people that I was around. Felt shame and guilt a lot of the times for the person that I was, and the fact that I felt like I wasn't good enough, I wasn't appreciated for who I was. I felt like I had to change a lot, like, oh, like, why am I this way? Why am I this person? Why am I, not what people like? Why am I not what people want? Those types of really hard feelings. And then, at times when I was trying to experiment and be curious and learn more about myself, I wasn't really sure, like, okay, what would I do? What is something that I would do that would stay true to me and my personality and my character, while also allowing me to expand and grow out of my comfort zone in order to try something new and something that might not necessarily be me, but would also be me because I am a reflection of what it is that I'm doing and all the choices that I make, even if they are inherently different from me, Does that make sense? Y'all following that one? And I didn't know how to express myself a lot of the time. I didn't know how to express what it is that I wanted, because for a long time, I didn't feel like it was okay for me to want things or to have wants or to say, oh, I want this thing or I want that thing or no, I don't want that. The trauma of being a woman, hey-yo, that's a story for another time. I wasn't even allowed for a long time to express my needs. I felt like my needs would get overlooked. I would feel bad for needing things, for expressing that sort of feeling. I didn't feel like I was allowed to express my rebellion, my turning away from other people's wants or needs or expectations for me, wanting to express just a general sense of curiosity and who it is I wanted to become, or the things that I was drawn to, the things that I was being called to explore about myself and about the world that I existed in. All of that, really, just to put that on a child is crazy. That's another story for another time. Girl, we have a lot to talk about. Stay tuned. But like, all of those things were shaping how difficult it really was for me to feel and be intimate. And to feel intimate with myself and the way that I wanted to express myself to me, express myself to others, and intimate with other people, because that is a two-way connection. In order to be with someone, I have to give myself to someone, but if I don't know who I am, what do I have to give? But even if I am giving, what am I getting? What is it that I'm looking for? What is it that I'm asking for? What is it that I'm receiving? And to know that, I had to know myself and know what I liked or disliked, or what I wanted from life, those types of things. And those questions are really hard to answer if you have not taken the time to think about those things. If you haven't taken the time to express just those ideas, just the inclination, the thought of like, oh, what if? What do I like? What do I want? A lot of that takes a lot of time and a lot of introspection. But I was actively hiding away who I was. I was actively masking and camouflaging for the benefit of other people, because I wanted to fit in, because I wanted to be accepted, because I wanted to be part of a whole and not feel excluded or ostracized. So one thing I learned this morning is that intimacy is really hard as an autistic individual. It's really difficult for me to navigate how to do that. I already have a horrible time trying to understand and maneuver my way through social interactions and socialization as a whole. Figuring out what do I like and my own personal method of self-expression matched with, fitting in and abiding by the status quo, things of that nature, that it was hard to be an intimate person and an intimate individual who could be open and comfortable freely expressing myself and sharing myself with other people, especially people that I really cared about and wanted to be intimate with. That experience as a whole was just difficult to get through, difficult to navigate, It wasn't something that I had previously fully acknowledged, that wow, socialization is already hard for me. Adding intimacy into the mix, wow. No wonder it's been quite a road, it's been quite a journey up until now. Intimacy has a lot to do with your personal circumstances in life. Nature versus nurture. If you guys are not psychology students, or you haven't been, guys, I'm sorry, these might seem like foreign terms to you. Maybe I'll break it down in another video, okay? Because this is my special interest, so you guys are going to have to hear about it, okay? Another aspect of psychology that I feel like really influences intimacy is your attachment style. I don't know if you guys know a lot about that, but there are at least 4 attachment styles that determine the success of your relationships and how well you can pretty much attach to other people. There is secure, there is anxious attachment, avoidant attachment, and then fearful attachment or fearful disorganized. The 4 attachment styles kind of predict or can say a lot about, how it is for you to connect to people, attach to people, your romantic relationships, etc. And so if that's something you're interested in, I would definitely look that up, do more research, check out which one is yours, what kind of attachment style you have. But I do think I fall under the anxious attachment category a little bit. Could possibly be fearful and disorganized. Unsure at the moment, but I definitely have some anxiety going on. And that I've felt uncomfortable in my attachments and my connections to people because I just always feel on edge. I feel like I can't fully get to them, so I have to keep doing and overcompensating to be okay, are you sure? Are you okay? Do you like me? Are you sure you like me? Is everything okay? Is everything good? What can I do? Kind of this very pestering, badgering type of feeling because I feel very uncertain and very uncomfortable because I don't know where we stand. I don't even know if there is an attachment here, so I constantly feel like I have to do something to reiterate and to reassure myself that this exists and that this is working. And so in the past, that has not done the best thing for me because I've been really anxious about, whether or not I feel like I might be doing too much for this person or I'm not doing enough, or maybe this part of my personality, this aspect of me is not, suited to their needs. A lot of people pleasing comes up, and I wanted to appease whoever I was in attachment with because I valued their presence, their opinion, their wants, their needs more than I valued my own, really. So lastly, I'm going to circle back a little bit to childhood trauma. My connection to other people and my comfortability to intimacy would have greatly been aided by, or my fear of intimacy would have greatly been reduced by having emotionally stable parents, having an emotionally stable environment that I grew up in that could account for and validate my needs, that could hold space for who I was and allow me to grow within that and offer me the room to figure out who I was and what I wanted and express myself in that way. Because I grew up in such an unstable home, I had a really rocky attachment with my caregivers. It led me to become more anxious and uncertain about things, and I would feel very uncomfortable at the thought of being intimate with them because every time I would try or feel like I could express emotions or feelings or thoughts or ideas or any form of intimacy in the way that I wanted to, I felt like I was met with rejection and invalidation and betrayal. Honestly, I felt very hurt in the ways that my intimacy was being received. And then in other moments when I was trying to be intimate or wanted to be intimate, but I didn't know how to express that, I felt very lost and confused because no one had ever shown me what to do in moments like that or what to do with feelings like that. It was really hard to talk about things, The moral of the story is it is hard and difficult to be intimate. It is hard and difficult to express intimacy and to want to be intimate with someone, especially because a lot of intimacy is sold and mislabeled as sexual intimacy. It's more so than just a relationship. It's more so than a connection. It's more so than just a friend. It's the underlying principle of intimacy, of getting to be with someone who so deeply understands you. To me, intimacy is about reaching a depth with someone that you can't necessarily go to with anyone else. So we're just gonna end it there. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did watch the whole thing, if you didn't, you suck, you're a loser. I'm just kidding, but you definitely do suck eggs. Sulfur smelling ass. No, but I love you. Thank you so much for watching. If you did, I really appreciate you guys and all of your support. Love yourself, be kind to yourself. It's hard out there. And yeah, let me know your own experiences with intimacy and how hard it has been for you, or how easy it might have been, or things you might have learned about yourself. And if there's anything you've gained from this video, I hope that you learn to be intimate with yourself and love yourself a little bit more, because it is a treasure. It is a gift to get to see yourself for who you are. And it is a gift that you then get to share with all the other people you will eventually and inevitably meet and fall in love with in your life. Yeah, I'm gonna just leave it there. I'm sorry. Anyway, thank you guys so much. I love you guys so much. Don't just feel blue. Don't just feel gray. Remember, there's a whole world of color out there to experience, and you are a star on every spectrum. Bye, everyone. I'll see you in the next one.